Hey everyone, welcome to another installment of Harry Potter Theory. Today we'll be discussing why Professor Albus Dumbledore was in Limbo. Throughout the Harry Potter series, Albus Dumbledore journeys to many a strange and magical place throughout both the Wizarding and Muggle worlds. From the mundane streets of Privet Drive to the Inferi-riddled cave that housed one of Voldemort's Horcruxes, it sometimes seemed like no location was off limits for the great and powerful Professor Dumbledore. And yet, I think it's safe to say that more than a few fans were a little dumbfounded when dear old Dumbledore showed up after he had died in an utterly bizarre version of what many have deemed to be a sort of limbo. For those of you who may need a little reminder, I'm referring to the scene in which Harry wakes up after being hit, for the second time in his life, by Lord Voldemort's killing curse in what can only be described as King's Cross Station. Of course, that's not the whole of it. In fact, Harry doesn't even seem to notice that the place he's found himself in resembles the train station until quite a bit later. But regardless of the appearance of the place, it does stand to reason that it is a plane of existence that's not quite part of the living, but not quite part of the afterlife either. For this reason, combined with the fact that Harry had just been hit with Avada Kedavra and Dumbledore had previously been killed, it seems rather undeniable that the location is indeed Limbo. Where else would a semi-dead and a definitely dead wizard be able to meet and have a chat? Alright, so now that we have that sorted, let's get on with the question of today's video. Why was Dumbledore in Limbo? Based on what we know, here are my thoughts on the matter. Option 1. Dumbledore knew that in order to take down Lord Voldemort, Harry would need to sacrifice himself. Perhaps he chose to stay in Limbo and await Harry's arrival in order to answer the questions he knew the boy would have and give him much needed support after being struck down by the Dark Lord's killing curse. It's possible that Albus used his regrets in life, such as not stopping Grindelwald before he killed so many people, bearing the responsibility of his sister's death, and/or manipulating Harry to defeat Voldemort, to stay in Limbo and not pass on. Then, after speaking to Harry, he may have been more at peace, having shed his regrets and owning up to the guilt he felt regarding his actions throughout his life. Dumbledore then could have passed on peacefully to the afterlife. Option 2. If Limbo is a place that exists between life and death, maybe those who are dead have the ability to visit Limbo whenever they'd like, say, if they discover that a loved one is there. While this option may be a little more improbable than the first, how would a deceased person know their loved one was in Limbo, for example? It would offer a better explanation as to Dumbledore's whereabouts between his death in 1997 and Harry's arrival in Limbo in 1998, because suggesting that he just waited around in Limbo for a whole year doesn't seem all that likely, now does it? Option 3. What if Limbo isn't so much a place as it is a state of existence? Imagine that Harry's soul didn't go anywhere after he was hit with the killing curse, but instead his mind created the scene right inside his own head. If this were the case, then Dumbledore may be no more than a figment of Harry's imagination, meaning he was never really there. But how then could he have answered all those questions Harry asked him? I think that it's possible that Harry already unconsciously knew some of those answers. Plus, who knows what kind of intelligence the great and powerful Dumbledore was able to hide away in Harry's head without him knowing. In any case, Harry would have put Dumbledore in his Limbo version in order to sort out all the answers he needed. And with that, we've come to the end of today's video. What did you think? What option do you think is most likely? Please share your thoughts in the comments below, and as always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, remember, it does not do to dwell on dreams and to forget to live.